Should I just server mute him the whole debate? That'd be pretty funny.
Man, how am I going to debate then?
Yeah, alright, so welcome to the December Site Director debates. Today will be a good base point for those of you that are conflicted, or those of you that have a decision to either change it or make a decision on who you might want to vote for during the elections. Computer here will be hosting the debate. He's going to be asking the candidates a question. There may be a point in time where the directors will be able to answer some questions. However, the candidates here will be able to talk about their doctrines and the plans that they have for the site. So look forward to that. And may the best candidate come out on top.
All right. I guess we'll start this off. I'll explain the rules. For every question, you'll have 2 minutes maximum, no interrupting. After this, there will be a 2-minute debate where you can debate over each person's answer to that question. Sound good? Okay, we're going to have the site directors flip a coin for this. All right. And whoever, wins will be able to choose whether or not they want to start or they want to go after the first person. So if each of you will pick a coin.
I really don't care. Juan, do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
You can go first if you want to. I don't really care.
Okay, you know what? Computer,
Yeah,
you flip a coin. If it's heads, I go first. If it's tails, Juan goes first.
Alright, sounds good. And it's heads.
So I go first.
Okay. The first question is, please give background information on your characters.
Well, I mean, I'm the site deputy director. I personally have been working with the site for the past month under Jacob Sievers as the director. We've been doing a lot of Discord stuff almost daily at this point. Yeah, that's my character. Monty, he is the head lawyer for Site 9 as well as the honorable appointed judge. He is someone when I'm not here, I can trust with the person because he knows so much around law and behind that whole entire field. He's the person that I think would best suit that position if I am not available to be on at that moment.
Alright, anything else you'd like to say about your character?
No, I feel like that's pretty much covers everything.
Alright, we'll move on to June then. Juan, I should say. Give some back information about your character.
Yeah, I got a few things. My background character is SSRU Corporal Juan, a retired Mobile Task Force lieutenant, and a previous research supervisor as a side hustle. My site deputy director, Mr. Cloud Dude, he's a general security sergeant. He's been working with a leadership status for I'd like to say about 3 months. He's a very good, trustworthy man. Honorable guy. Gives you best advice. And that's basically it.
Alright. We'll open it up to debates though. Do you have anything to say about each other's answers to that question?
No, I can vouch for Juan. I remember him as a lieutenant. I saw him as a supervisor. Yeah, he does a great job.
Alright, sounds good. We'll move on to the next question then. Starting with Grape again. Please explain some of the main ideas from your doctrine.
Okay, well, we actually have quite a lot. We posted it. I can go over the general policies, which is the Site 9 Constitution. That's something that Jacob and I drafted, and we still believe that holds true. So we're going to continue that. Another general policies, we're going to hold the HOS accountable. It's very, very similar with our general policies of what we want to do because we want to continue the administration. With our new things, we've got new plans for security. SSRU, SSU, we have the Security Special Forces, obviously IA, working with that whole entire Department of Investigation and the judge system. TCU, we've already got a lot of things to help bring it back, and as well as MTF because we're working very, very hard with MTF. regardless, it's always something to be looking after. And then research has been doing a very good job with their group projects, but we wish to continue bringing that forward through great projects as well as encouraging them.
Anything else you'd like to say? You still have a little bit of time left.
I mean, I'm not Jacob Sievers. I'm not just gonna scream in the mic for like, read like 3 pages of information in like 30 seconds. Yeah, that's like the general policies is what you're asking.
All right, understood. Then we'll move on to Juan. What are the main ideas from your doctrine?
Our main idea, well, our general plan within our doctrine is to work with the site, with our beloved Heather staff, as well as the site as a whole, to overcome any obstacles we may face during this term. During my first few days, I'm gonna talk to all the HOS. That's my plan. Make sure like everything's all situated. Work with fucking MTF. Fix New 7. They've started to slowly lose a lot of members in activity. Let's see. Those are just some easy stuff, but I'm also going to be starting to fund more medical, more maintenance and engineering, because compared to last term, they weren't really brought in as much because I don't know what, because Sievers went into active and, he lost his entire motto on becoming the fucking site director. So basically we're going to work with the new divisions within IA, the goddamn investigation part. We're going to try to work with We're going to work with the union to help with more simulations and the same amount of things that we're going to plan on doing with everyone else.
All right. Anything else you'd like to say? Still have a little bit of time left.
Not really.
Okay. We'll move on to the debate then. You each can speak about what you feel is wrong with what they said, or if you agree with them, then we can just move on.
Yeah, I just had a really quick question regarding the whole entire M&E thing. I don't know where you got the information that nothing was done with M&E. We actually talked with the M&E lieutenant at the time, and he took an LOA for personal reasons. And because of that, there was no, I guess, anything done, but I can't really blame that for happening under my administration if someone had a personal reason to take an LOA ROA. Like something was done. I don't know who told you that nothing was done. Where did you get that information?
We from the new appointed Chief Freeman.
So Freeman wasn't even there in the conversation. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that. However,
how can Freeman tell you what was said in the conversation if you weren't there?
I'm not. I didn't know there was conversation. Freeman never brought it up.
Okay.
He listen. We got information from Freeman.
Okay.
And he said that nothing in M&E was done according to Sievers' doctrine. And that's all. Like we talked to him. He said nothing was done. So.
Yeah. So like I said, we talked with the division head. Obviously, Freeman wasn't there at the time. So, and like I said, I don't know how M&E was led based off of this specific leader, but as I said, we did talk with him. I don't know if Freeman's just got the conception, but there was a lot done that not a lot of people saw. That was the whole point, to work in the shadows.
But don't understand why you would do that.
Well, I mean, my presence doesn't need to be there to be effective.
I think the site says otherwise sometimes.
Fair.
Anything else you guys like to say? So 20 seconds.
Yeah, I actually have a few things.
About my general policies.
Yeah. Can you elaborate more on your establishment of the Site 9 Constitution?
And your time is up.
Okay, never mind then.
3 minutes has passed. You did only have 20 seconds, I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, I don't know. It was
also, Would both site deputy director or site director candidates be willing to take questions from the audience as well as?
Yeah, don't they normally do questions after all the main questions are done?
Well, I guess we could do it at that time then, whether or
That's not
not you
matter to
want to
me.
do it in the middle. What about you,
It-
Juan?
I don't care. I think we should just do it at the end.
Okay. Anyone in the call right now, go and DM me any questions, and at the end we'll go over them. Okay. Next question, starting with Grape again. Why do you think that you should be the site director?
I have personal experience. I've had a lot of leadership positions with the lead of SCB, the lead of MTF, as well as the site administration deputy director. Um, I've almost never had any sort of issues with my teams that I work with. 9 times out of 10, people have been very, very content. And when there is that situation, I get to the bottom of it right away. I fix the problem as soon as it becomes a problem. Monty, do you want to add in anything?
Yeah, I think just to kind of sum it up, I think that the focus of our administration, as was with the Stevens administration, is just to see a huge emphasis placed upon the individual and everyone being brought up uh, as best as they possibly can. I think our doctrine does a really good job of focusing on having exceptional individuals be able to step up and show themselves, and I think that that's a really comes out of Grape's plan for the site.
You still have 50 seconds left. Anything else you'd like to say?
I feel like we've clarified everything.
All right, we'll move on to Juan. Why do you feel you should be the site director?
Well, that's a simple question. I'm an active worker. I'm on the site every day. I notice problems. I'm a hard worker. I try to get everything done. I try to work it out with everyone. I try to escalate, de-escalate. Fuck, bro. Oh my god. I swear to God. Listen, I'm gonna just say this right now. I'm not gonna go off the script anymore. Listen. I just gonna say this right now. I've experienced. I used to lead a lieutenant as a division. I used to lead the entirety of general research as a CO. I used to help with fucking HOS. I used to do all that shit. I used to. Shit. I don't really know. The fact that you're bringing in why should be site director is controversial to why Grape should be site director. It's not a real easy question to go off between someone who has been in multiple HOS positions and one who's an actual law student. Like, I swear to God, it's hard to deal with this. All right, here's what I'm gonna say. Me and my friend Clouded, we are hard workers. We're gonna try to get everything done within the site. Everything that we make, everything in our doctrine, we're going to get it done. That's something I'm gonna promise. That's what I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna make sure everything within my doctrine is completed. We're gonna make sure we have an absolute good amount of HOS. We're gonna help them. We're gonna assist them. We're gonna make sure everything within the site, everyone's problems is done, cleared. We're gonna make sure no one has any problems. We're gonna work together. We're gonna find solutions, and that's really it.
Your time is up. Okay, we'll move it on to a 2-minute debate where you both can speak.
Sounds good. Quan, I have a really quick question. I know you do have leadership past with singular divisions, but have you ever had multiple division experience? Have you had multiple jobs at the same time when they're pretty high ranking and they have to be multiple leaders? And if so, were you inactive on both of them?
Pardon? Can you repeat
Like,
that?
so have you had a position where you had to lead multiple sub branches?
Yes.
Okay, and which one?
Research and MTF.
Okay, and what was your overall success on that?
I'd say it was pretty good. It was pretty effective.
It's pretty effective.
Mhm.
Okay, I was just wondering. Monty, do you have any questions?
No, I think as I kind of said earlier, for us as a candidate here, what it really comes down to is not just being strong individually, but working on building up strength with everybody else. I think our doctrine does a good job of explaining that.
Anyone else want to say anything? Okay. It seems like that's everything. We'll move on to the next question then. Okay. Why do you think that you'd be a better site director than your opponent? Starting with Grape.
I mean, I guess that stems off the other question. I feel kind of bad taking the microphone the entire time. Monty, do you want to try to answer this question for the both of us?
Yeah. I think what it comes down to here is just a combination of experience and a combination of hard work ethic. I think over the last couple of days and watching over the course of the last administration and moving forward, Grape is a very hard worker. I mean, as we were writing our doctrine, as we were working on all these projects that lead up to this election, I mean, I've never seen an amount of work come out of just, I mean, the writing and prose that he used for this was unbelievable, and I think that the experience of working as the site deputy director over the course of the last month will translate very effectively going forward to the next month as he moves to even bigger projects in the coming administration.
Is that everything?
I can add something. One thing that I really like to emphasize is how Monty and we see eye to eye on a lot of issues, but we don't find the same solution to the issue. And a lot of people think that it's a bad thing, but it's actually a very, really helpful thing in a sense where because we have two diverse minds, we both think differently, we come with unique solutions, and not a lot of people can do that, you know? Having that same goal, but still trying to find different, you know, different methods to achieve that goal is just such a phenomenal bond that you can have with someone, and that's why I chose Monty as my STD because we share that kind of mindset.
Anything else? Either you or Monty would like to add? Sounds like that's all. Okay, we'll move on to Hawan. Why do you think you would be a better site director than your opponent?
One, I'm more active. Two, shit, actually, my site deputy director, he wanted to actually say, because he was eager in my DM. So, Clouded?
Yeah. So, I just have to say that we're really active. We play a lot, and I feel like if you play a lot, you can see more of the environment around and more of the problems that you can see and the ways to solve them. Being more lower ranking for quite a bit because Juan has been corporal for a while. Well, not corporal, I think foreman. And I was corporal for a while too. You can kind of, when you're lower to the ground, you can kind of see up more than if you were higher ranking. So you can actually kind of see some of those problems from the point of view from the people that are having those problems. I think it's very beneficial. And we don't really have as much experience. And I think that we could get that experience, and because we have more experience and being more lower, we have that point of view from the actual problem so that we know what the problems are instead of searching for them. That's all I gotta say.
Alright, you still have 30 seconds left. Juan, would you like to say anything?
No.
Alright. Then we'll move it to a 2-minute debate. You both may speak.
Sounds good. Cloud, can I ask you a really quick question? Regarding your statement specifically.
Yeah.
So, what makes you think that I don't have any experience in being in the lower ranks?
Well, I don't think that. I just more recently, you haven't been.
I guess more recently, yes, I haven't been, but I mean, I do have other characters. You know?
Yeah, I was just saying you had quite a bit more of leadership experience in more division.
Yes, so I've had more leadership experience in more divisions. and because of that, you guys should become site director?
No, I'm just saying that most of the time we see more of a lower point of view of stuff. I'm saying that we get to personally experience those problems, so it gives us more of a point of view on those problems.
Okay, so because you guys are lower rank, you guys get a more like understanding of when things are pushed out.
Yes, kind of.
Okay. Okay. Then yeah, I mean, I understand that there's a struggle with that whole entire. What's up, Juan?
You mind me to butt in?
Yeah, go for it.
Great. I want to actually talk to you about something.
Okay.
During when you were site deputy director, you made like whatever happened to your plan with the defense of the site with through MTF and general security?
Yeah,
'Cause
so
I-
we. Okay, yeah, so we talked with MTF and we actually revamped their whole entire ranking system, and we were
Mhm.
working with MTF specifically. And I know Jacob was starting to implement the whole entire warden situation in security. And he was talking with Upper Command Chat about that. So then he can have someone leading D block while they have security go over to HCZ and stuff like that. But it wasn't
is up.
implemented in time.
Time is up.
Okay.
Okay, we'll move on to the next question. One moment. Okay. How will you change the site? Starting with Grape.
Okay, so how will I change the site? Well, I mean, obviously our whole entire doctrine from last election too was about bringing power to the people. We have the people being able to do what they wish. They are able to have a voice, and we still stand by that. You know, we still believe that the people are the ones, the enlisted are the ones that go through everything, and if they have an issue, they should come up to the site deputy director, the director, to any of site administration, and talk with them. And if they all feel the same way, they are able to start a veto and vote on it. That's one thing that we always have pushed for. Obviously, HOS accountability. If an HOS is doing something wrong, if they're breaking the rules, they should be punished. We can't just turn the other cheek, and we fully stand by that. Excuse me. I mean, the Constitution as a whole is very, very, very useful for the people itself. In fact, it cripples the site administration in the sense where we are. What is it? We have to listen to what the people want. It cripples us because we don't have as much power. We can't just boom slap executive order, boom slap executive order. Now you can't do anything like that because we want what's best for the site. You know, um, with our plans, I don't know if we're going into specific what is it, details on divisions. Do you know if we're doing that right now? Like, are those part of the questions, or is this just like overall?
It's an overall question.
Okay, then yeah, like I believe that power to the people is crucial, and Monty and I perfectly established that our doctrine outlines that very well, because we understand how useful it is. You know, you can't just have people with all the power. The power should be shared. We're a giant machine. Each gear does the job. One gear is taken out, the whole machine breaks.
All right. You still have 10 seconds. Well, I guess we'll end it here since that's no time to speak. Juan, would you like to tell us what changes you'll make to the site
like overall or
overall?
okay. Well, for overall, I'm going to start making like some inactive divisions, like more simulations, more joint trainings. I want everyone to be more informed on communication within the site. I'm going to be actively working to make sure this happens. To like any unnecessary changes or necessary changes. Clouded, would you like to tell anyone else what you're gonna do? Lovely. He's inactive.
No, I don't have anything to say.
Okay, lovely. Well, other than working together with the divisions and trying to increase activity within the entire site, including tactical containment unit, research and development, and I've seen medical security get down a little. So, yeah. That's it.
All right. We'll move on to the 2-minute debate. You may both speak. Okay. No one has anything to say about each other's answers?
Yeah, one second. I'm
Supposedly.
just talking to my roommate.
I'll step in a little bit here. I think to kind of talk a little bit about more specific changes, since we have the opportunity here. I think the two things that we're really looking forward to is working with the security special forces. We feel at this juncture that they are in need of a little direction, and so we've got some what we think are really helpful plans in terms of moving them to being more active on the site as much as we can, and really getting them involved as some of the most experienced and well-trained members on site. Really would benefit the site as a whole to move them into a more active role. Um, and then the new Department of Investigations within IA, I think we're really excited about that. It's a big change for us. Not only because it gives us a way to work on these big trial events like we did with Vamp and other ones that we may have going forward, but also it really gives an opportunity for us to take a deeper look into some of the departments and make sure that everyone's doing their best to work for the benefit of the site and not against it. But to kind of go on that, we will be very taking it seriously, these investigations. We're, as Grape and I have gone over with the Constitution, we're very important about making sure that everyone has their rights and their ability to protect them. And so we're very much going to take an active role in ensuring that proper investigative tactics are employed, and that all Foundation staff, regardless of rank, are given the same equal and fair treatment for any investigation or trial that they become a part of.
Okay. And everyone's time is up. We'll move on to the next question then. Starting with Grape. If you
Okay.
had to choose one or two words on how to describe your plans as site director, what would they be?
2 words? Dang, that's such a constrictive amount of words. I guess teamwork and individuality.
All right. We'll move on to Juan. Pick 2 words that you feel would describe your plans as site director.
Hmm.
1 or 2.
I'd just say innovative and creative.
All right. Now we'll open it to debate if you guys want to ask each other questions about why they chose that word.
I mean, I don't think you need a debate. It's just kind of
I'm just going through the.
yeah.
Okay. Starting with Grape, which division needs the most work at this current moment?
That's TCU. TCU was once super active, and it's now become inactive. Do you want me to go into what do we plan to do, or is it just like the question is what division is inactive?
That's the question. Or what division needs the most work?
Yeah, TCU needs the most work. It is pretty obvious, and actually Monty and I reached out to the TCU commander to work with him and already find the plans. And so actually everything in the doctrine was told by King and the TCU commander King, because what he wants to do, and we're going to help him do what he needs. You know, we believe that the division is the job of the division lead. You know, so if the security chief doesn't want to do something that we want to do, we're not going to force the security chief to do it. We're only there to offer some sort of insight and help. We will only step in when we need to, because the HOS are HOS of their division respectively. Like, they earn that spot, they know their division the most. It's not our position to tell the HOS what to do per se. Yes, we like if it comes to that point, but like we really need to emphasize that whole entire, hey, we're here as a resource, not as a boss. We are here to help you out if you need help. Obviously, if they're doing a terrible job, then we will have to step in. But it's like it's very crucial that the HOS are the ones that make the plans, and that's I'm really emphasizing that, because the plans that we have for TCU were specifically said and brought up with the TCU Commander King. That's how I know it's going to work the best, because we already have 3 minds working on it, not just one, not just 2.
All right. We'll move on to Hawan then. Hawan, what do you feel? Which division do you feel needs the most work? Or
Well, I gotta agree with Grape. TCU needs the most help right now. They've recently lacked within performance. They have not been very active within the site. Maybe like shit. If I had to like try to maybe fix it, I'd probably like talk to HOS, think of a plan. Shit, maybe do a joint training with MTF. We haven't done those in a while. But other than that, that's all I really have to say.
all right. We'll move on to a 2-minute debate. If you guys would like to say anything, add on each other's points.
I mean, like, I don't think there's a reason to debate since we both agree on the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll move on to the next question then. Which division needs the least work at this current moment?
Okay, the division that needs the least amount of work. I mean, I would technically say MTF because they're in a good spot right now with NU7 full as well as Pi 1 full. However, the thing with MTF is that you always need to work with MTF because it's really crucial that they're always on their A game. Research is doing good. I mean, security, the numbers are insane. IA, I mean, yeah, I guess I'll bring up. I guess I'll do research specifically because research is such a unique division since it's one of the most RP based situations or RP based. But right now we have like so many good heads working with like the research department. Like at my beginning of my term with Jacob, it was like constant pings for me and Jacob, or like constant DMs for like test approvals. But now it's gone through the chain of command. Berger has done a great job with his COs and NCOs to the point where now it goes through that chain of command, and like only when it needs to be pinged, like I see them and I see how much work they're like putting in. Obviously, I'm still going to work with them, but I really, really, really like what they're doing right now, and I think I shouldn't even try to intervene because they have such like a beautiful um they have such like a beautiful method that's working just tremendously.
All right. Is that all you'd like to say?
Monty, do you want anything?
I would just add on a little bit about the research one. We've seen some really unique and special tests over the course of the last month. In particular, we've seen like Project Godkiller, the Gas Experiment, and the Dionysus Project, all of which have been what we'd call resounding successes. Um, and we're very happy to see research has been pushing those sort of big projects, and we're looking forward to more in the coming term.
Right. We'll move on to a debate. Does anyone need to say anything?
You skipped one.
Oh, sorry. That was my bad. I was reading the player questions. Juan, what division do you feel needs the least amount of work at this current stage?
Shit, I'd probably say general security. Right now it's an amazing division to say at least. We have like a few bad apples, but that's nothing compared to the rest of the crowd. Like I said again, activity has been good, but the only thing they really need is a few more trigger discipline. That's really it.
All right.
So
Would
some-
you like to open it up to your site deputy director since you still have a lot of time left?
Yeah, of course. Cloudu, go ahead.
I don't really have anything to say. I think Juan basically covered everything I was going to say.
Okay. Now we'll move on to a debate. For real this time. You guys would like to say anything about each other's opinions? Nothing? Alright, then we'll move on to
Actually, I do have a really quick question. First thing is, yeah, why do you specifically think that security needs the least amount of work? They're one of the biggest divisions, one of the fastest evolving. You know, there's such an influx of people. The next day, it could.
Well, you see, the HOS and the COs and the NCOs, they're doing a great job right now. I'm pretty sure they can handle mainly themselves. The most divisions that really need the work are TCU, as well as some
Well,
small divisions. But
I mean, obviously, I'm not saying security needs the most work. I'm just saying that don't you think that it'd be important to constantly be working with security since they're like the powerhouse of the division, like of the all of the divisions, they're like the biggest and most active division.
well, when they're the biggest division, they're gonna need the best leaders. Am I not wrong?
Yeah, of course.
All right.
But
So
wouldn't
when
it
they
be your
have,
job to ensure that?
yeah, that's why I said
So you would
they
have
need
to
the
be
least
working with security.
Yeah, but not as much compared to other divisions.
Then what about research?
Research is doing okay. They don't need
So they're doing
that.
okay compared to how, like, I'm just so confused.
What are you confused on?
With research, tell me specifically what needs work.
With research,
Yes.
they just need to start hosting more group projects. I know, like they haven't
Have you been
gotten.
active on research lately?
No, I haven't.
So how
'Cause
would you know if they're not hosting group projects?
I'm not even in the research right now.
So you wouldn't know if they're doing any work.
Well, I do know
Well, how would you?
what.
Time is
How
up.
do, all right then.
All right, we'll move on to the next question then. One moment. Okay. How do you plan on leading this site alongside the other heads of staff?
Oh
Great.
yeah, I mean, I am always in really close communication with all HOS and deputy HOS. Not so much COs, because I feel like it's important that the COs communicate with the HOS as their main lead. Like the HOS should focus on their division and their COs, and their COs should focus on their NCOs, and it goes like a whole entire spider web. With the divisional leads right now, I don't think any one of them has a specific issue with me not being active enough or responding. When I say I get a DM from them specifically, I first thing I do, make sure I respond as fast as possible because 9 times out of 10, it's an important question. Like literally today, I got a message from Union because one of his NCOs worked very, very, very hard on like this specific document, and he needed approval from SA. He responded to me in I think less than an hour or two. I'm not too sure. I can't pull out the receipts right now. I'm not just gonna switch mid like or pull that out mid debate, pull out extra evidence. But you know, I do my best to respond as fast as possible with HOS because those are like I like oversee the HOS. The HOS oversee their division. It's like a whole entire branch of this trickle effect, so to speak. You know, yeah, I work hard with them. But one thing I do, and I've already stated this multiple times, is I don't step on their toes. I make sure that they have the full control in their division. Obviously, if they're misusing that control, then they're going to be reprimanded. They're going to be dealt with, but I have not had an issue with that whatsoever. I've been able to just sit back, just reach out to them, say like, "Hey, everything going good?" or "Okay, everything's going smoothly. They don't really need to worry about anything," and let them be. You know, I think it's better if something's not broken. There's no need to try to fix it again. I think that's like a great sentiment that Monty and I both hold very dearly.
Anything else you'd like to say? Still have a little bit of time left.
Yeah,
I
Monty, if you want to go.
just add on a little bit. I think, as we talked about a little bit earlier, it's really important to us is um, being more of a resource and a source of help for the heads of staff, allowing them to run their divisions, and only stepping in when we really feel it's necessary or when we've been called in to help. I know there's been a couple situations over the course of this last term and where um, divisions needed some help, and they were and the site administration
Your
calls in,
time
and it
is up.
really is. Oh,
All right, we'll move on to Juan. How will you lead this site alongside the other heads of staff?
We're gonna be actively working together, finding the solutions to everyone's problem. We're gonna be actively going within asking NCO plus about their opinions on site administration and HOS, and seeing all the negative and positive feedback and how we're gonna improve.
You still have plenty of time left. Would you like to open up to your deputy director?
Yeah, Cloud Dude. Would you like to open up?
I'm pretty sure Juan summarized a lot of it. One thing I do have to say, communication is key, and that's all I gotta say. Communication is extremely important.
All right. We're opening it up to debates. If anyone wants to say anything, do so now.
I think just for me and Grape, to kind of continue what I was saying, it's like we're just looking to do our best to, as we did with the speaking with Commander King and TCU, and trying to help them with what they think is best. It's kind of going to be our continued plan is to just give heads of staff in specific, as well as the rest of the divisions, help when they need it in terms of getting themselves back on their feet. And not to be this overbearing, overpowering force making changes that they don't really agree with.
Anyone else want to say anything? There's still quite a bit of time left.
I'm more than open for questions.
Looks like no one has questions. We'll move on to the next one then. All right. Starting with Grape here. What is the best trait you have as a leader? If you don't have any, explain to us why.
If I don't have any, thankfully I don't suffer with that problem. I don't want to sound egotistical because this is like a very, very egotistical question. I don't want to toot my own horn. One thing that I really, really, really value as a leader is to make sure that everyone is heard. You know, that's a very crucial thing, and that's why my whole entire doctrine is about giving power to the people, allowing people to have their voices be heard, because I think everyone has the right to say and think what they want. The Constitution gives that ability that we are continuing to establish. We have already established it, but we want to continue that. I'm just reading the channel chat. Yeah, so hi Tony. Anyways, I think it is very, very, very important to have each person be able to speak their mind. And if something that happens that they don't like, they should be able to voice their opinion. And I will always respond. I will always respond. Shut up, Acro. I will always respond to any sort of DMs or any sort of questions revolving a specific like thing that I do. You know, any sort of action that I do. If someone questions it, they can ask and reach out to me. Hey, why did you do this? And I'll explain to them. And dude, this is just getting racist at this point. It's so yeah. So I think it's really crucial that everyone has that clear communication.
All right. You still have quite a bit of time left. Would you like to open up to your deputy director?
Of course, no, my deputy director is always allowed to speak if he wants to.
Yeah, I think he's really covered a lot of it. I think, as he said, what's really important to us is that good line of communication and transparency. We don't want to seem as if we are hiding things or doing things behind people's backs. We really want to be upfront and answer as many questions as we can to whoever wants to know the answer.
All right. If that's all, we'll move on to the next question. Or, well, to Juan, I mean. Not to the next question.
All right. Can you repeat the question?
Okay. I haven't said it yet, but I'll say it right now.
All right.
What is your best trait that you have as a leader? And if you don't have a best trait, explain why.
Shit. All right. Shit, my bad. Oh my fucking god, I can't do this. Anyway, my best trait. Let's see. I'm so sorry. Cloud Duty's yelling at me in my DMs. Hold on. Okay, my best trait within leadership, I'd say communication. I think it's very essential. Clouded? No.
Yeah. I think you really summarized it up. Definitely, definitely leadership is the best trait. It's always good to have good leadership.
I recommend turning on Crisp during this debate.
Yeah, so I think he has. I think you summarized it.
Okay. We'll move on to the debate then. You both may speak.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of a question when it comes to
Yeah.
how I got a little question about how you guys will implement this whole entire idea of communication.
We're gonna be working together. Me and Cloud Dude, we're gonna host more meetings. We're gonna
Okay.
make sure these information is getting out there.
Okay, so then if you're hosting meetings, who else is coming?
Wait, repeat that?
If you're hosting these meetings, who is coming to these meetings?
Well, it's gonna be HOS meetings. We're gonna.
Okay.
Jesus, I can't read chat. Holy shit.
Yeah, I know. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough. But try to answer the question, please.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, we're gonna work together with the HOS. Then we're gonna make sure we're gonna make sure the HOS relay these. Okay.
Okay, and then I guess a further question is, how are you gonna get the responses from the enlisted?
We're gonna go around. We're gonna actually. Oh, dude, I don't like you slandering my fucking DMs. Anyway, so we're actually gonna work together. Well, actually, we're gonna actually. Jesus Christ. All right. Fuck, I can't do this. I literally can't do this. Anyway, we're gonna personally go to random. Well, not random. We're gonna go to NCOs. We're gonna make sure these ideas were actually implemented. You want to help?
Yes, please. How would you go by that?
Oh my
And
god.
Time is up. We'll move on to the next question. All right. So, Grape. What would you say your worst trait as a leader is? If you don't have one, explain why.
Yeah, so my worst trait, fully honest, is I'm very hasty when it comes to making decisions. When I see a problem, I want to fix the problem as fast as possible. And because of that, sometimes I don't like to I don't weigh out all my options until I actually look back at it. And that's where Monty comes in. Monty's a very level-headed person. You know, he takes his time, he's very methodical. And because of that, we have such a good team dynamic because I'm able to push for a solution, a very fast response solution, and Monty's able to be like, "Okay, let's look at all the options." Okay? It's very, very, very important that we see all sides of the party. And because we have this check and balance, it works really well because I don't want to be rude or anything, but because Monty takes so much time on focusing on his ideas and focusing on all the options, I think of solutions way faster. But his solutions 9 times out of 10 are significantly more effective. And because we have that double that double diverse mindset of two different ways of approaching the same solution, it makes it very, very, very beneficial.
You guys have 45 seconds remaining. Anything else you'd
Monty,
like
do
to
you want
add
to add
on?
anything on that? I feel like we should talk about you as well.
Yeah, I think he kind of hit it on the head. I like to take my time and make sure that I'm going through all the options. Obviously, that sometimes slows down the movement process, but I think that's Grape explained. It's a good way to balance things because he's always trying to get it out as soon as possible. So it pushes me to be quicker about going through all my options, whereas it also forces him to slow down and consider everything, which really often leads us to the best solution possible given the situation.
All right. We'll move on to Juan. Juan, what do you feel your worst trait, your worst leadership trait is? And if you have none, explain why.
Tony, what the heck? It's not nice. My worst leadership trait. Let's see. I break down on peer pressure, like a lot. Cloud dude, do you have any worst traits?
Yeah. Well, I'd have to say I take things very seriously. What I mean by that is someone could say something as a joke, and I will take it very seriously. And I sometimes people will take an impact, and I'll take an input from people that isn't really serious, and I'll implement that. I'd have to say that's my greatest weakness.
All right, is that everything?
Yeah, that's everything from me.
Juan, would you like to add on anything? You still have a minute
Actually, I have one last thing to say, and I will take this term very seriously. That's all I gotta say.
Juan, would you like to add on anything on that, or?
No, I'll be good.
Okay. We'll move on to the final question, and then we'll open up
Oh,
to
can we do
player
debates?
questions. Oh yeah. We'll have it on to debate then.
All right, perfect. I guess my specific question to Juan is: do you think it would
Yes.
be right for you to be the site administration if you fold under peer pressure so easily?
To be honest, I don't even know why I got elected. They literally elected me for no reason. I have no idea. Crazy, right?
Okay. I mean, okay, yeah. So, would you still be able to answer the question?
Mm-hmm. Sorry, can you repeat that?
If you succumb to peer pressure so easily, why do you think you as site administration would be the better, like the better option?
Hello?
Hello?
Hey, Grape.
Yeah, what's up, Joe?
Hey, man, got a quick question for you.
What's up?
So why'd you kill those two A1 agents?
Two A1 agents. Okay. Yeah, I can answer that question fully. I trusted someone. I fully trusted them because they told me information, and then
Hey,
I only
Grape, to
found
add
out.
on, hold on. To add on to that, why did you gag Vamp during his trial?
Yeah.
Kind of kinky. Wait, like,
Yeah, that's kind of breaking your.
Isn't that against the Constitution?
I can answer
Yeah,
that
isn't it-
actually. As his
isn't it,
attorney, I can answer that.
Yeah,
Really?
we can actually answer that if you guys wish. I mean, we're gonna have to extend this time
Please do,
because
please
you
do.
had a
Please.
surprise question.
My ears are all open. Please tell me.
Okay, your ears are all open. So with the
Yes.
Alpha one, we were given misinformation by a very trustworthy person. And he had quote unquote evidence. Obviously it was fake. And
Mhm.
because of this, we pursued because we didn't want to risk any sort of um unwarranted death for the site administration. We thought that the A1 was originally going to coup um Jacob Sievers.
Hold on. No, that doesn't answer my question with
I'm
Vamp.
still gonna continue. If
The
I'm trying
time
to
for the
answer one
debate
question.
is over. We're now
Well,
on to
yeah,
the
I
time
know,
for
but
the
there
question.
was. Okay, I'm sorry, computer, but there was an extra question added. This wasn't even about the original
Yeah, I
topic.
know. I'm
So
saying
if
that you're the only one that should be speaking right now.
Okay, perfect. So, and because of that situation, we didn't want any sort of unwarranted deaths, so we acted out of haste. Yes, it was a bad idea. Yes, it was bad. But I took accountability to it. I took accountability to that issue rather than sweeping it under the rug. And not a lot of people will do that because I want to be as clear and open with the people as possible. You know?
And
A lot of people would have just been like, you know what? I fucked up. I'm not going to tell anyone. But I said, no, I'm going to make amends and I'm going to do what's the right thing and announced to the entire site that I fucked up and it's not okay. and there was a petition done, and I was actually pushing for that petition. I went around in debriefs, and I said specifically, if you guys believe that what I did was wrong, please sign the petition. And there was 12 signatures. Monty, if you want to answer the whole entire vamp thing.
Yeah, if I can speak to the vamp thing as his attorney, it was decided as his counsel that the best thing going forward was for him to invoke his right to not self-incriminate. And for his own self-interest, it was decided that he should not take the stand or speak at his own trial and allow counsel the right of attorney to stand in his place and ensure that he was given the best ability in the trial, which we were very happy with. The resulting not guilty and guilty charges based upon the circumstances of the case.
So he wanted to be muted. He wanted to be gagged.
Well, on top of that, he was not there to RP. He was just screaming, coughing in his mic spamming, and me ungagged him multiple times.
Well, that still breaks your constitution.
Does it break the Constitution?
Yes.
Time is
Which
up
one?
for both the debate and for the surprise question.
Oh, I'm gonna interject real quick. I got a question for Juan this time. Juan, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I got a quick question. What that mouth do?
Oh, we do a lot.
Would you, since a surprise person came in, would you guys like to have the 30 seconds left on the debate to still ask the questions on that last
Like, that
question?
wasn't even like
Or
a question. We can move on. Juan, are you cool with moving on?
Yeah, sure. I don't care.
we'll move on to the final question and then we'll open up to player questions. Okay, starting with Grape. Out of all the current heads of staff, and you cannot select none, choose one to remove and explain why.
That is probably the worst question I've ever heard. God damn it, that is so hard. They're all doing such a good job. One divisional head. I mean, what else are the conditions? Like, do they have to? I don't know. Like, does it have to be HOS specific, or can it be like A1 detachment commander?
HOS specific.
HOS specific. Yeah, you know what? I don't know. I honestly, they're doing such a good job. Monty, would you be able to answer this one?
Yeah, if I think based upon the current circumstances of the site, as much as we've done our best to work with Commander King, as we've mentioned, it's the division that need the most help. And if there was one division head that we thought we might need to be moved to open up for a new administration for a real overhaul of the department, it would probably be TCU Commander King. I think it's the best opportunity. If that were the case to come, it'd be the best opportunity for us to rebuild, revamp, and empower the tactical containment unit back to the strength that we saw when it first moved into the site.
Anything else either of you would like to add?
I mean, yeah, King is doing a great job right now, and we're already working with him. But I mean, yeah, I guess Monty does bring up that good point where because TCU's in such like a crucial state of fixing, like it needs to be fixed. I guess that there would be. I guess King would have to be the option.
All right, we'll move on to Juan. Juan, if you were to remove one HOS and you cannot select none, who is it?
I gotta agree with Monty and Grape King all the way. I have a feeling he could have actually gotten it more active than it actually is right now. Like even though I like him as a person, like I'm not sure TCU right now is gonna go really good with him as a lead. Cloud Dude, would you like to add on?
No. I think you I think you well explained everything. Yeah. That's all I gotta say. You explained it pretty well. That's all I gotta add.
Okay. Would both parties want to open up to a debate, or do we want to move on to player questions?
I mean, because we both agree on it,
Yeah.
I think there's no point in debating.
Okay, we'll move on to player questions. Give me a moment to read through the DMs I've received, and anyone else that wants to ask a question, go ahead and DM me now.
I know Juicer had one. I don't know if he sent it to you. He had a good one.
Okay. Let's see. So Kalaji has a question about what to do with the foreign policy of GOIs. He requests to come up onto the stage to ask this question to you guys personally. Would you guys be okay with that?
Yeah, sure.
Actually, it seems he left the call. Never mind then. We'll move on to.
I mean, do you have the question itself? Like, you can just ask the question. We can still answer it.
I asked him to tell me the question itself. He said it's really hard to explain, but what to do with the foreign policy relating to GOIs is
I
the
mean,
question.
I can try to interpret the question if Juan, if you want to answer this question too. If not, we can move on.
Okay, starting with Grape. Good.
Okay, so I mean, with the whole entire foreign policy
what
of
you believe.
GOI, I mean, I think that we need to be clear, we need to be concise, and we need to be demanding. We should not have any sort of leeway. We need to get to the point and make sure what we do is the right thing. When it comes to surface operations, obviously Monty and I are going to be pushing for that. We pushed that for our last, for Jacob and I's administration, and we're going to continue pushing that. With raids and defense, I know, what is it, Lone just brought up this whole entire castle squad, which, first of all, respect to Lone, that was a genius idea, where they're going to be helping with research defenses as well as GOI raids, and that's going to help push that where security goes during GOI raids and help get that whole entire defense with with our site. But yeah, when it comes to kidnapping CI members, if we capture them into custody, um, it's crucial that we don't show any leeway, that we don't back down. We need to hold our ground and where we stand.
Okay. Juan, same question to you. What changes do you make to the foreign policy regarding GOI?
I'll be real. I have no idea what this question means. He has that person has to either come in here and explain it a little more. Cloud dude, Jesus.
Yeah. So, I would like for the plan to be more defensive than offensive. I think some of the plan is offensive, and they are raiding us, and I feel like sometimes we will counter raid them when there really isn't any real valid reason to counter raid them, and it's just a waste of life and resources. I wish we would focus a lot of more of our resources on defending the facility and making sure no GOI gets in. I hope to implement policies that can hopefully take most of the GOI raids from breaching into HCZ or past the gates. Yeah, that's all I gotta. That's all I gotta say.
Since that question wasn't a very good question, we're just gonna go ahead and move on to the next one because it's a little bit confusing. This one is a better question. So it's a question for both people, starting with Grape. What are your plans for Special Forces, SSRU, or SSU? Will they be utilized more in special operations, taking the load off of NTF?
Yeah, we actually outline this in our specific in our doctrine. We actually have a whole entire tab for security special forces with SSU and SSRU. We both, Monty and I, believe that any sort of special unit should be used more often than just having them sit around. Because I feel like if they're just sitting around, they're wasting time. Like, they're a special unit for a reason. We should be using that resource. Um, Obviously, I would love to have those special forces go onto surface and do those combative missions, but that's not something site administration can do. That's something that UA has to approve. As much as I would love to try to give you guys the answer you want to hear, it's not something in our power to actually do. If UA does grant us the ability to actually allow SSU and SSRU up top, on surface and have those sort of special operations, then I would totally support that. And in fact, I want to have that happen. I mean, I was asking UA if A1 could do that. UA obviously said no, none of that. If we could have those special ops, I would think it would be amazing, because who wouldn't want that? It's useful for literally everyone on the site. It gives people something to do. It lets them actually use their job and their ability to the full extent rather than just sitting around in LC's E or D block, and everyone's happy. Like, it's a win-win scenario. I personally think that SSU and SSRU should be used more often than just sitting around, but because of the fact that UA has to be the one to approve it and stuff like that, it is very, very, very rare, very, very, very rare when they're actually able to go onto Surface.
All right. Okay, we'll move on to Juan. What are your plans with special forces? Will they be utilized more for special operations or taking the load off of MTF?
As the name implied, more of special operations. MTF can deal with their own stuff. They're pretty good right now. Pi1's been doing amazing. Maybe SSU could be more focused on a lot more defensive type situations, while SSRU handles mainly offensive type shit like that. Cloud Dude, would you like to extend this or no?
Yeah. So instead of having one or the other, I would like a mixture of both. When they do not currently need to do any sort of special operations, then they can help lay off the load of MTF. I feel like SSU and SSRU should be heavily encouraged to get on, since I've seen a lot of SSU inactivity and some SSRU. So yeah, that's all I gotta say. Thank you for having me. Hold on.
All right. Would the both parties be interested in opening it up to a debate, or would you like to move on?
I'd be
Or
interested
either
in a
party
little bit
debate?
of a debate, if possible.
Okay. A debate has
Um,
started.
To kind of
Either side may
specifically
start.
get into a little bit about the special forces, I think that in the current iteration, we see a lot of let's throw them at a problem indiscriminately without taking into account their unique and specific strengths. I think our doctrine does a really good job of laying out our plan to use SSU and SSRU to the best of their abilities and to the best of their strengths. Mostly starting with using not just throwing them at problems and hoping that they get through it, and rather being more tactful and efficient with the deploying of our most talented and um, trained forces. And as you can see in our doctrine, we really are pushing that motion of activity and activeness out of the Special Forces Division. And we really hope to see that those things will take great strides if we are elected into office.
All right. Anything else you guys would like to add? You still have a little bit of time left. Seems not. Okay, we'll move on to the next question. Give me one moment. Okay, this is a good question from JP Ryder for both sides, starting with Grape. What are your plans for research?
Okay. What are my plans for research? I mean, it's very, very simple. I can just read off of my doctrine. We already have our plans. We are already more than happy with research and how they're doing. We want to continue to push and incentivize research to doing containment and origin projects. We think those are the most creative projects, as well as just like very fun to read projects. Obviously push for those good big group projects still. Excuse me. Obviously still push for those big projects with like group projects. It's always phenomenal seeing what like Sinclair can do or what Jacob can do. Like these guys, those are just like a few that I can list off. These guys are doing phenomenal work and they're having great ideas brought up. They're helping out the the newer enlisted researchers. And yeah, I think that what research is doing great. Obviously, I'm going to keep on pushing for what they're doing successfully, so I can see even more success. They're just doing phenomenal, in my opinion. Monty, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I think in terms of the best benefit to the site, our plan for containment and origin projects really works towards the overall goal of the foundation, which is obviously to secure and contain. And obviously, origin projects and finding the way that SCPs either operate or were created gives us a better insight into how we can stop more incredibly dangerous SCPs like 682 and 106 from continuing to come into creation as best as we possibly can.
All right, is that all? Okay, we'll move on to Hawan then. Hawan, what changes do you plan to make to research?
Well, my plans to make towards research is to make it a more innovative and creative environment. I've seen that not many people, like through the past few days I've been on, I haven't seen many people on research, and I pretty think they need a little more inspiration or to be noticed a lot more, as they're one of the backbones of our site. Cloud,
Right.
would you like to add on to this?
Yeah. So, this is last time I checked, this is a containment and research facility. So, we have all of our divisions, and research is part of the one half of what the site is supposed to do. I would like to encourage a lot more of containment procedure tests than just test finding what happens if I take this thing and put it with that thing, what happens. A lot more tests that have a huge use to them than most tests where like it's like a 131 and 999 cross test, stuff like that. That's all I gotta add.
We're gonna open up to debate.
Yeah, Cloud, I have a really quick question. Your whole entire document talks about creativity, right? Like you guys even said Juan himself that innovative and creative is your whole entire um like doctrines, if you could be summarized in 2 words, right? So why is what you said literally what we've been pushing for the past month?
So I'd rather push the creativity in one direction than the other. Because
But
I
you
believe
said specifically the same direction as me. The same exact idea that I've had and I've been pushing for months. If you guys push for creativity, how come you guys are using my ideas?
well, I just really encourage pushing them in a variety of directions so that we can
Okay,
use
but you
them.
said one direction. What are the other directions?
The other directions, so there's like researching, seeing what happens if you put like two things together, what happens. Then there's like containment procedures, stuff like that.
Research is in charge of light containment procedures?
No, and containment procedures like the new SCP that has arrived at our site, 053. I believe they're still working on containment procedures for that SCP.
Okay. So you just want to see doing research on other tasks, which
Yeah,
that's been like not as creative, where like that's kind of doomed to fail, right? You've
yeah, and
seen, so why would you push for it? And the other option that you have been pushing for is the option that I've been pushing for. So it kind of goes against the whole entire innovative and creative aspect of your guys' doctrine, does it not?
I'd just like to push innovative designs and
Time is up.
creativity.
We'll be moving on to a. Hold on 1 second. I'm getting pings from Joe. Okay. So the next question will be from Chaotic. It is, how do you honestly feel about each of the HOS? Starting with Grape.
I love them all. I love them all. They're there for a reason. I work really well with them. They don't feel afraid of communicating with me, which is it's like that is the one thing I always push for. I'm beyond happy that I can have the HOS reach out to me and be comfortable about it. You know, I personally can say with a passion that each of these guys have a passion for their own division, and each of them want to see their respective division succeed. And I will always stand by them no matter what. I think that sorry, I'm just God, dude, Joe is something. I love Joe. Anyways, he is like all of the HOS are doing a great job with the hand that they were given. Most of them had to go into their position after a lot of HOS just dipped all of a sudden, just abruptly. And Lone and Computer yourself, you guys took the torch that Panda left, and Union has been doing a great job with the torch that Jet has left, and Frontliner's doing a phenomenal job with the torch that all of MTF CO's left with. And then on top of that, Burger, I mean, he was at the beginning of the division. He's done a great job too on just reviving research after the whole entire change situation. I am more than happy with how well and how hard they're working, and I want to keep that going. And I'm obviously not going to step on their toes. I'm going to ensure that whatever they need is going to be done because they have the right vision.
All right. We'll move this question on to Juan. How do you feel about each of the HOS, honestly?
I mean, they're alright. Nothing really bad to say about them other than King. But other than that, it's been alright. That's all I'd have to say.
Do we want to start? Do we want to do debate, or are we going to move on?
Yes, please.
What's an yes or
What?
no question?
Oh, I thought you said, do you want to do the debate or do you want to
yeah.
move on? That's my
Yeah,
bad.
go ahead
I'm
and
sorry.
start.
Yeah. So, Juan, what are they not doing good, to your opinion?
What do you mean?
All of the HOS, since you said that they're doing okay. What is the reason?
Well-
What's stopping them from doing great?
What do you mean? What are you trying to say that they're not doing
Because
good?
you said I think the HOS are okay.
Well,
You
yeah,
didn't
because
say
if they
they're
were
good or bad.
perfect, their division would be like utmost powerful. Like each division would be super active. They'd be
Okay.
super efficient. And until I see like a super efficient general security or a super efficient TCU, like they're all at a right.
But do you not think that they're putting in hard work?
No, I know they're putting in hard work. They're
So
trying.
don't you think that's a good idea? Like that's good that they're trying their hardest and they're successfully doing it?
I mean, they're trying a tiny bit.
Do you think
I
that
mean-
there's a tiny bit?
I mean, hey, these are player questions, and they're basically
Well,
your
yeah.
opinion.
I know, and I just want to know, why is that your opinion?
Okay, I gotta stop reading chat. Anyway, well, it's my opinion because I believe that they could be putting in a lot more effort.
Okay, and how would they be able to do that?
Well, they can host more trainings, host more simulations, do
Okay.
more joint trainings,
Do
do
you ever
things that
see?
benefit
Do you ever see their discords and how often they ping in them?
you.
Yes, I'm in all of them.
Okay,
I mean-
Cloud, you gotta stop. Damn you.
So I mean, I'm just a bit confused because of the fact that you don't have that
Mhm.
behind the curtain view that I do, doesn't mean that like they're not putting in work. Like you should see
Time
the
is
amount
up.
of effort.
Time's up.
Okay. We'll move on to the next question. Okay. This is a question from, I believe this is Freeman in game. How do you plan to implement the MME changes involving rewarding of checkpoints mentioned in your doctrine this time? This was mentioned in your previous doctrine, but was not
Yes.
accomplished.
Okay,
Mainly
yeah.
for Great, but also with Juan as well.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, to address the second part, I've answered this quite a few times already, but the main reason why a lot of the changes weren't implemented in M&E, and I hate to scapegoat someone. I obviously will take part responsibility. Was I talked with the lead at the time, whose name was. I'm sorry, Union. Please don't do this to me. We talked with the lead, who was chains at the time, and we were like, okay, listen, here's what we want to implement. Do you need any help with implementing this? And Chain said, "No, I got it. Thanks for your help. I'll obviously ask for money when money is needed." I was like, "Perfect, sounds good." And then Chains went on LOA or ROA. So because of that whole entire, I guess, situation, it was abruptly halted. Even though the plans were done, it is like we tried to implement it, but because of that one like road bump where Chains had personal issues, and I'm not going to blame him at all for having personal issues. If someone's got that kind of situation, like they need to take a break, so be it. But because of that whole entire situation, we weren't able to fully implement what we wanted to do. But now that we have an active M&E lieutenant with Freeman, I think we will be able to do wonders. If you want to add on, Monty, please.
Yeah, just to add on a little bit, I think a big point of what he's saying though is we learned from the last time that just trying to do it through one person is not the most effective or efficient way of doing it. And so I think our goal this time is to try and reach out to a higher amount of the people in the M&E command staff, and get as many people as obviously Freeman or whoever the division head as we can involved, and providing these incentives to the best of our ability and their ability, so that we aren't putting all the weight on anyone's individual shoulders.
All right, your time is up. Same question to you, Juan. How do you plan to implement the changes involving reporting of checkpoints and MMA? This was
Well-
also mentioned in your document, so that's why I
Yes.
asked you as well.
As previous term, they were not implemented, which I don't see why they weren't. My plan is to give them actually the NCOs, like my funding, like my actual in-game money, to actually reward like people they see doing fit. And I will personally also be going around seeing who made these checkpoints, and if they were really good, I'm gonna reward them with some like cash, like 50K.
Okay.
Cloud, would you like to also add on or no? I'm gonna take that as a no.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, so I think it's really important that we hand it to the higher rankings, the money, so that because they're on site a lot. Because we're only 2 people when there's like 5 high rankings of them, so they can really see some good checkpoints out there. I Union, please stop DMing me. Thank you. So I think that we should really encourage apprenticeship, and what I mean by that is, some people that may not know how to build right, uh, they can be taught by a higher ranking and teached. I think this would be very helpful for these people that don't know how to build and they only get limited trainings. Having someone that could teach you personally and build with you, stuff like that, that could really help. And I know Freeman already has a system which he trains every field tech before they get promoted to junior engineer, so that they're all trained. And creativity is really important. Creativity and usefulness. It's very important for these checkpoints. And I really have been liking the creativity I've seen out of these checkpoints. And I think it's very good that they've been encouraging, since M&E is a very fastly growing division. They've grown a lot. I think yesterday I hosted
Time is
a
up.
debrief.
Okay, we're gonna moving on to a 2-minute debate. Both sides may speak.
Do you guys have any questions about my plans?
nothing in really particular.
Okay, we'll move on to the next question then. Okay. Okay. Let's see here. So this question is specifically about the security branch, MedSec. He was asking if we're going to be making any changes specifically to MedSec itself. So I think it's great.
Monty, do you want to go off of this one?
Yeah, I can step in here. I think that over the course of the last administration, we've really seen a huge shift in the medical department. A lot of new NCOs and COs have been put into place who we are really impressed with, and we hope that we can continue to see that. Our real goal is to continue to use MedSec to the best of their ability in terms of helping support all of our staff with healing and reviving them. We really like to continue to push a method of keeping those people safe so that we lose as few lives as possible.
Are we?
Did he leg out?
Did he lag out? Okay, I guess the same question goes to you, bro. Where? What's your guys' plans for MedSec?
I want to actually something that has been on my mind. I want to actually host some more. I want to fund more events within MedSec, like some Code Blue simulations, blood drives. I've seen those before. They were pretty fun. I loved them. And some other different type of medical situations that will be useful within the field.
Sorry about that.
We know.
Okay.
I would like to add that I've seen a lot of changes trying to be implemented in the MedSec, and a lot of this requires role bonuses, which this is due to different things being implemented and not being accepted. But I think quick bind stuff like bandages, highly encouraging RP instead of just walking up to someone with a med kit and then just clicking them with it. You could do bandages with a quick bind, something to make it more realistic. Taking medical checkups, stuff like that. Physical evals, stuff like how research has psychological evaluations. You could do physical evaluations if someone gets injured or something like that. I think that would be a great system to implement.
Is that all?
That'll be it.
Okay. Would you guys like to move on to a debate?
Yes, please. So, Cloud, quick question for you. How are you going to enforce that whole entire medical RP?
I would like to use stimulus checks to reward these people for their supplies and the time they put in. I think
So, with the whole entire bandages thing, is that like a SWEP you're thinking about, or is it more like a
no,
just like
so-
slash me?
Yeah, it's like a slash me bind where
Don't you think that'd be a
if you,
bit tedious during the heat of a moment?
yeah, and it's
So
more
wouldn't that make medical security less efficient?
well, more during times where you're not in direct fire, because really in times that you're in direct fire, you won't really be healing another person more intensely. You'll just be getting a quick heal to them. And it really only takes 2 seconds to move your finger over and click a bind. And it doesn't necessarily 100% have to be implemented, but it can be encouraged. And I think it would really help add a surreal kind of feeling to MedSec.
Okay, and have you talked with the members of MedSec about that?
No, but I have heard some talk from MedSec Captain Gold about quick binds like that.
But what about the enlisted?
The enlisted, I've heard that they would really like features like that. I think a few of them have received medical training on certain events, and
So of those few, right? What about the rest of them?
the rest, I don't think they were really active for those events. And I feel like they would really benefit from having those.
Okay, so how would you fix activity
I
by
would
implementing that? How does that relate?
I would encourage a lot of people to join because I feel like adding a little bit of RP to security rather than just shooting things and maintaining things. Adding a more RP solution to that would be.
Time for the debate is up. So this next person had quite a few questions, and they're all relating to MTF. We're gonna be starting with Grape. It's 4 questions in total.
Okay.
So you'll be
I'll do my best to
answering
answer.
each question in a 2-minute interval, and then I'll move on to Juan, which will be 2-minute interval for each question, and then we'll open it to a full debate of all questions. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay. The first question is, what are your future plans for MTF groups that are currently active, including updates, enforcements, assignments, and protocols? This includes A1, Null 7, and Pi 1.
So with Alpha One, obviously they're our protective unit. That's their first priority. With their second priority being defending the site. Um, with that in mind, I think it's very, very, very crucial that they have other tasks they can do. I know that one of the Alpha One members just before this debate proposed a really, really interesting idea with involving Alpha One and IA, which I really want to implement. I just need to see a document and on how it would work, as well as like the proper protocols that need to be followed. I think with Alpha One, it's a very, very, very problematic spot because UA restricted it so much. If like it was before, I mean, when I was MTF commander, Alpha One used to actually be able to do private covert surface operations, and obviously I want to push for that, but that's up to UA in the end. With NU7, obviously they're the assault division. NU7 is going to continuously be encouraged to do surface operations. It's what a part of our document states. We have been pushing for that with this entire oh my god, with with this entire administration. um we personally believe surface operations are crucial, and that's for both Pi 1 and with NU7. We want to obviously encourage sims with long range combat specifically, because the short range combat and PvP is fun and all, but we need to actually have the MTF be trained in stuff that actually matters. NU7 specifically needs to work on long range, because long range combat is like the number one thing that you have to deal with on the surface. With Pi 1, obviously they're doing a great job with defending, with as well as with NU7. Everyone's got this amazing, amazing strategy, and we're just going to continue working off of that. We're gonna see how far our strategy works, and then if it stops working, then we're gonna obviously find new ways to fix it. So, yeah. What's the second question?
Okay. 1 moment. Okay. So the second question is, how do you plan to further the occupational capacity of A1 due to its current its inactivity from current members?
It's inactivity.
Certain
I don't know
key
if
members.
Yeah, I don't know if it's specifically inactive. There may be some inactive members, and that's obviously for me to deal with since I'm overseeing Alpha One right now. Yeah, obviously enforce activity. If they're not on, then they're going to be removed. We have a very, very, very strict policy with Alpha One. No, absolutely no fuck ups. If you fuck up, you're gone, one and done. Alpha One, you're trustworthy. You are there with SA for a reason. If you mess up, you need to be reprimanded for that specific reason. As for the specific question was just Alpha One, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean with Alpha One specifically, it's very, very, very like held back by UA specifically, and I hate the fact that it's like that. If we could get past that, then obviously I would, but I can't make promises and I can't just say things that you guys want to hear. If UA makes it a rule, it's there for a reason. So I would love to fight for it, and if we do fight for it, I will totally be on board. But it's a question to the UA, not to the site director. Next
All right.
question.
Okay. The next question is, in the scenario, well, this one's more of a UA question. It's very heavily UA, but I'll go ahead and ask it anyway. In the scenario that MTF becomes more overbalanced than CI, do you plan to make it more balanced for CI as well, or do you plan to focus on the foundation-centered power, regardless of player stability?
So obviously, as a site director, I want the MTF to decimate the CI no matter what. So obviously, if we have an overpowered MTF, I'm going to keep it overpowered. No ifs, ands, or buts. Since you even said it yourself, this is a UA question. I have zero control over CI in the sense of who is in their ranks. I can tell MTF to shoot and kill them. That's about it. What I can do with CI, I can maybe tell MTF to try to capture, maybe grab some information, but I can't control what CI does in their ranks. That's all up to UA.
Okay. You ready to move on to the fourth question?
Yes.
Okay. This one was actually specifically for you, so Joan will not
Okay.
be answering this one. Do you plan to further pursue the addition of additional task forces such as Kappa 10, Beta 07, and such from the administrative doctrine proposed by you and Jacob Sievers?
Yeah, so we initially proposed that, right? Thinking, all right, we need to find new specializations for MTF, and then we talked with the HOS. At the time, Digby said we already have 2 separate divisions, and we chose and settled on 2 different divisions, and we renamed the MTF divisions into Pi 1 and NU7. Because they have those specializations. Because of the fact that the HOS said it's not the smartest thing to do, we listened, and obviously we're letting the HOS lead their own division. We're not going to be putting our fingers everywhere, not allowing them to do whatever they want. And because of the fact that all of the CEOs and the HOS said we're good with only 2 divisions, we were like, okay, let's keep it at 2 divisions. Let's see how it works. Lo and behold, it worked perfectly. And so I'm gonna respond to the question with another question: is why would you try to fix something that isn't broke? Obviously, I support what the HOS did. I support NU7 Pi 1. I think they're doing phenomenal, and because of that, I'm not going to pursue after that re-ranking of the enlisted. And if you read through my document, we actually have no mention about the revamp of MTF and the ranks. The previous administration, we wanted to revamp the ranks, and we got that done in a different way. We found a compromise, and we were happy with it. In this one, we obviously are not going to be pursuing that because we're happy with where we're at.
Okay. You still have 30 seconds. Would you like to add anything onto that?
No, I'm good.
Okay. We'll move on to Juan then. Juan, the first question is, what are your future plans for MTF groups that are currently active, including updates, enforcements, assignments, and protocols? This includes A1, Null 7, and Pi 1.
All right. Well, that's kind of an easy question. For like documents and stuff, I'm gonna actually rework some strategies for defending GOI raids and trying to work with the MTF commander to find some ways we can. Oh my god, I cannot read general. Okay. Alright, so I'm also going to be working with the MTF commander to work on some offensive tactics for counter raids and such. Shit. Dude, I'm just so fucking tired. I want to end this shit. Oh my god, fuck. Claude, dude, can you step in, please?
Yeah, so I would like to rework a lot of the defense plans. I would like to put in quite a few so that we have everything for all situations. I want to put up like squads of people, like one person guarding A, one person guarding B, so that they can guard different tactical positions. Like they can guard if they breach the gates, then there can be people guarding the vents in the RDC room. The stuff, the lockdowns are locked down, and then there's people guarding stuff. Instead of everyone trying to combat the GOI, we can actually start taking a defensive position and then pushing. That's all I gotta say for now. And the people that do hard work, hopefully they can get promoted and we can put in some more roles. And I like to see the good work.
Okay. Is that everything from both parties? Or both from John and Cloud Dude? Okay. The next question for Juan. How do you plan to further the occupational capacity of A1 due to its current debatable inactivity from certain key members?
Oh, actually, I think I had something in my doctorate about this. I know it may be controversial. Some people actually don't think about it, but I might want to try and reinstate Alpha 1 to, if there's no side administration on, to guard HOS. I know it sounds weird, even because counting that some HOS even have guns. But other than that, I believe they should also have a Alpha 1 lead. Because let me just say this real quick. When, let's say theoretically, side administration somehow get PK'd, who's gonna be under the lead, the fucking lead or whatever? You're gonna need someone who's gonna do that. So we need an Alpha 1 lead. That's in my opinion. And they need a fucking guard HOS when they have nothing to do. That's just my opinion. Clouded, do not add on.
Okay. Is that everything from both Clouddude and Juan? Okay, we'll move on to the final question for Juan. Actually, we're going to go ahead and, well, yeah, we're going to go ahead and skip this last one because it is so UA that there's not really a point in it, because you'll say the same thing Grape did, where you don't really have a lot of power over it. Okay, we'll move it on to a debate. If both parties are interested in debate.
Awesome. Is this the final debate now? Is this like where?
Please, bro.
Yeah, we can end it after this one.
Okay, I'm cool with answering more questions. I don't care. Yeah, so I guess I got two questions right now for. First one's for Cloud. You mentioned a specific plan of splitting MTF to gate A and B during defenses. Is that correct?
Yes.
Do you know what happens in EZ already?
Yeah.
So what does the MTF do when there's a CI raid?
Usually they split up on gates, and sometimes they'll go
So
on one
don't you
gate.
think it's a little bit like redundant to mention the fact that you're gonna try to enforce them splitting into two different groups if they're already doing that?
I was just stating the mere fact of that I'm going to just make sure that that's implemented and reinforced. I'm not really in
Well, how often are you in EZ?
not very often.
Okay.
The only times I'm really ever in there, because I think my highest rank is a sergeant. The only time I'm ever in there is flagged on as ERU or helping with a GOI raid as a sergeant.
So I'm gonna let you know right now that MTF does that every single time, regardless of how many GUI are on. I don't really think there's a point of enforcing that, don't you think? If that's already happening.
Yeah, I just want to add on to it.
What would you add on?
Just the part of squads. I think that would be very helpful.
Okay, squads is an entirely different thing.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Moving on, we're going to talk to Juan really quick. Juan, you mentioned
Yeah,
the
we're
fact
good.
that Alpha 1 is told to protect HOS. Do you know what the Alpha 1 are ordered?
Mm-hmm.
What are they ordered?
They're ordered to protect side administration. I know that.
You know that?
Mm-hmm.
Were you in the HOS meeting when I talked with that?
Time is up. The time is up. Okay. We would end it here. However, all we have is about 2 more questions from Dreamcast, and that's the last questions that have come into me. So, you guys interested in answering these last couple questions, and we'll go and end this tonight, or right after this one. Does that work for both parties?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, please.
Okay. Starting with Grape. Give me 1 second to read through this. Okay. Do you have any changes planned for IA, specifically the enforcement branch, or see a problem with it?
Do I have any big changes for IA? Not particularly, no. Obviously, we implemented the judge system, which was already a huge change. We're going to continue off of that. I know that the investigation branch of IA is now being fully formed as we speak. One of the NCOs just did type it out. I think it was Dreamcast who wrote out the entire. Yeah, he wrote out like an entire document in all caps. First of all, bravo to you, bro. That was insane. Don't know how the fuck you managed to type like a 5-page document without fucking spell check because you're using all caps. regardless, they're already planning to get that entire investigation division, and I'm totally support that, and I'm totally going to help in any way I possibly can. As for the other branch, the enforcement branch, I mean, I haven't really noticed any issues with IA particularly. I know people have distaste for IA, but I was a part of IA prior to becoming SA, and I know the hard work that they put in. It's not fun, but it needs to be done. And those are the people that are going, and they're putting in hours so that the site is safe and the site is being run properly. You know, like these guys, they work hard and they go through probably one of the hardest jobs, and they still go on and they still do a good job with a smile on their face.
Okay. And another question for Grape. 1 second, actually.
Okay.
Okay. How will these simulations for IA work? It seems as though these chase simulations will result in one IA tranquilizing another in the head. Does Grape have anything planned, like these events for IA?
The chase simulation, I'm a bit confused on what that means. I'm not really informed about that. If it was like a simulation ran by HOS, then I obviously am not touching that because it's what they want to do. If IA wants more simulations, of course I'll be happy to help out. Whether it be like hostage rescue situations, or negotiation, or dealing with people who are not good in jail, like just being able to be able to interrogate and get information out. However, yeah, I mean, I think that IA is already in the action field. It's already like a field where you need to constantly be on your toes, constantly be on the lookout. Um, Taking away IA for a little bit can cause a lot of issues in the site as a whole, because these guys are the checks to these guys are the balances to everyone's checks. Like if someone does something, IA needs to be there to make sure that they're doing it properly, and if they at all mess up, IA needs to be there to reprimand them. That's what they're there for.
Okay.
I obviously understand that the chase sim is like someone's running away, resisting arrest, so they're gonna trank him in the head. But like that is a useful task to use, I personally think, and it may not be that fun and interesting, but having that knowledge and having that skill is beyond crucial.
Okay. This is the final question for Juan. What makes up for your lower leadership experience in comparison to Grapes?
Let's see. What makes up for it? That's what you said?
What makes up for it, yes.
I haven't shot to A1, that's one thing, but let's see. Well, that is true, Blink. My name is Juan, so... But that doesn't really relate to the fucking thing. Let's see. I mean, other than to say we're, like, me and Cloud Dude, we're pretty active. Yeah, I am tired. Shit. We'll, like, make sure we have all of our shit done, but, like... Fuck, bro. Cloud Dude, please take over.
Yeah. So, we're all active a lot of the time. Really active, and I feel like when it comes down to it, we're always willing to take up the position to lead. We may not always be the ones leading, but when it comes down to it and people need it, we'll always be willing to do that. I've led tons of squads in Ginseg. I think in the past month, I've led around 33 to 40. And, it's just been very beneficial because a lot of times there might not be anything currently implemented. And I know how it feels for there not to be any structure implemented, and you have to improvise and make your own structure so that everything stays organized. That's all I gotta say.
Y'all's time. Alright, time is up. So this will be the absolute final thing we'll be doing during this debate. which is just one final 2-minute debate where you can talk about any questions that have been released so far or anything you plan to add on to everything that's been said so far.
I mean, yeah, firstly, I want to say thank you so much for hosting the debate. Juan, thank you so much for showing up and actively doing through this debate. It's been really fun, in my
I'm
personal
sorry.
opinion.
Can I sleep?
Yeah,
Dude,
sure.
listen, I'm just glad this is over.
Okay. Did have one little question, right? You guys said that you want to make sure that you have all your shit done. Has there ever been a time where we haven't gotten our shit done for the Monty Grape administration?
For the Monty Grape administration.
Yes.
Hold on. I'm actually Claudia. What are you talking about? Sorry about that. I haven't actually seen the chips. I don't have chips. I think Claudia is going crazy. Anyway, so I don't really actually think. To be honest, I believe your administration is gonna go well. That's all.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everyone who's come to this debate, and thank you for all 4 candidates for remaining professional throughout the debate. The December site director debates are now over. You may leave. Thank you, everyone that came, everyone that is within the debate, and thank you for all the questions that happened.
All right. Well, thank you so much for hosting this, computer.
No problem. And
All right,
apologies for my couple mistakes first time, though.
It's
So
all right.
yeah.
It's all right. It's all right. Don't worry.
Best of luck. Best of luck.
You as well, my guys. May the best team win.
All
We
right.
already know who's winning. Oh my lord. Anyway, this debate was very exquisite. Well,
Juan, what was up with you and those chips?
Okay, good. My recording did not just
Stop.
record Gmod.
Juan.
All right. I have
I
to
was
answer
using
a call right
Xbox.
now. Take it
I
easy,
was
you guys.
hungry.
Bye.
All right.
was
Bye,
hungry.
Grape.
Bye, Grape.
Juan, after this is over, I'm gonna make a call to you. I'm going to yell at you.
Yeah, I know. You spammed the
The
F word like
chips.
30 times in my DMs.
The chips, dude. Why'd you have to
Good luck,
use the
gentlemen.
All right. See you, Monty.
Cry about it.
Oh my god.
I only did this for fun, bro. What you talking about?
You almost had me laughing, dude, when I was speaking, dude. I tried
Yeah,
holding
I
it in
know.
so bad.
Yeah, I know, cause I did it on purpose. That was so funny.
Thank you, computer, for having us.
Yeah, thank you, computer. I'm
No
gonna go.
problem. No problem.
I'm gonna go.
All right, may the best candidate win.
I'm gonna eat some chips in the other VC.
All right. No, I'm gonna be calling you to go yell at you. So.